Okay. Last question for you, on the way the rush to go. Beterbiev-Bivol, you watched the fight. Who do you think won the fight?
Yeah, I watched this fight. I think Bivol win this fight. Oh, not Bivol. Beterbiev win.
You scored.
Last question for you, the rush to go. Beterbiev-Bivol, you watched the fight. Who do you think won the fight? Yeah, I watched this fight. I think B will win this fight. Oh, not B will. Better B win. You. Dmitry Bivol is standing at the edge of history, staring down the man who took his unbeaten record, his championship, and his moment. February 22nd is no ordinary night. It's the night he fights, not just for belts, not just for revenge, but for his very legacy, and just one more from EBA. The rematch. What a great fight that is in SA. How do you see that playing out? This going to be a really good fight. Both are great fighters, and do you see fighting AL heavy again? Across from him stands Artur BBV, the absolute wrecking ball of the light heavyweight division, the man who has crushed 20 of his 21 opponents by knockout, the undefeated, undisputed champion. Their first fight left questions, controversy, and debates, but the scorecards ruled in favor of Beterbiev. Now under the bright lights of the Kingdom Arena in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, the two warriors go at it again with nothing less than everything on the line. I'd prefer if we have a couple rounds more. 15 rounds, yeah, old school, yeah, but you told me you're not a student of boxing, but now you're talking about 15 rounds, yeah, but because I'm not good boxer I need more rounds. See, you need more rounds to improve. Yeah, for Bivol this fight is about proving what he has always believed, that he is the superior boxer, the more skilled technician, the man who should have won the first fight. He feels good heading into the rematch, as he's made clear in interviews, but feeling good is one thing, beating Beterbiev is another. It's not enough to be slick, not enough to be fast, not enough to be cautious. That was his mistake last time. He stayed safe, he avoided exchanges, he focused on precision rather than damage, and in the end the judges gave the nod to the man who took more risks, the man who threw with bad intentions, the man who looked like he wanted it more. All can't afford to let history repeat itself. 10-second, he needs to fight like a man with no other options, because truthfully he doesn't have any. If he loses again there will be no trilogy, no redemption arc. He will become just another name on Beterbiev's perfect record, another high-level fighter who tried to stop the inevitable and failed. But if he wins, everything changes. A trilogy is guaranteed. The division gets turned on its head, the pound-for-pound rankings get shaken up, and most of all Bivol finally erases the doubt that has followed him since that first defeat. There are a lot of reasons why this rematch is happening. One is the sheer controversy of the first fight. A large section of fans, especially those backing Bivol, believe he should have won. They argue that he landed cleaner shots, that he controlled the pace, that he neutralized Beterbiev's usual bulldozing approach. But the reality is, boxing isn't just about landing shots, it's about making an impact, and whether fans liked it or not, Beterbiev was the one who looked more dangerous in that fight. He was the one who kept pressing forward. The judges saw that and they rewarded him for it. Into the rematch, are you more confident than you were for the first fight, or the same Dmitry? Are you more confident? All the same, doesn't matter. I don't care what happened before. The other reason this fight is happening, there's simply no one else. The light heavyweight division lacks major star power beyond these two. There's no rival storyline, no other blockbuster fight that makes sense. This rematch is the only fight that matters right now at 175 pounds, and the Saudi Arabian backing behind it, Turkey Al Sheikh, and his vision for massive boxing events is what ensures that if Bivol wins, a trilogy is inevitable. But there's a problem. David Benavidez, the monster at super middleweight, the WBC's mandatory challenger, the man who has been calling for a shot at light heavyweight gold, he's waiting in the wings, expecting a title shot after this fight. But if Bivol wins and a trilogy is set in motion, where does that leave Benavidez? He can't afford to sit and wait for a year. He needs a fight, and if he's really about that action, there's a perfect opponent for him. The winner of Callum Smith vs Joshua Batty, a Benavidez vs Smith or Benavidez vs BSI fight would be fireworks, a perfect way to keep the division moving while Beterbiev and Bivol settle their war. But will Benavidez take that fight, or will he sit on the sidelines frustrated waiting for his turn? That's the question. We already know David wants to fight the winner of Ben Better, but Nez, I'm going to be the first one to tell you this, but I know you're going to disagree with me. Nobody's beating Artur Beterbiev at 175, bro. Nobody'd bleed to get his ass knocked out. Billy is going to get his ass knocked out. And if Canelo want that smoke at 175, but let's shift the focus back to the fight itself. Bivol has to do more than just survive. He has to hurt Beterbiev. He has to make him hesitate, make him think twice about walking forward like an unstoppable machine, because if Beterbiev smells weakness, if he feels like Bivol is content to just box and move, he will break him down round by round just like he does to everyone else. The judges saw that in the first fight and they won't hesitate to score at the same way again if Bivol doesn't change his approach. Not concerned about the fight. I'm more concerned about, like, if be honest. I always more critic of myself, and even all my last 20 fights I'm because of luck I win them by QO. Eddie Hearn knows this. He's been vocal about his disappointment in the first fight's outcome, but he also understands the business. If Bivol plays it safe again, the same thing will happen. If he wants to win, he needs to take chances, plant his feet, fire off meaningful shots, and prove that he's the better fighter, not just the better boxer. And then there's the bigger picture. February 22nd isn't just about better BF versus Bivol 2, it's about what might be the most stacked boxing card of all time. Hearn is calling it the greatest night of boxing in history, and for once that's not just promoter talk. The lineup is insane. Yeah, he did good job. Like, I don't know how he measure his work. I mean, good or not, but I am not bad boxer. I did not bad work, but I think Mark Virgil Ortiz Jr. versus Israel Madrimov, that's a guaranteed war. Two elite power punchers, both undefeated, both willing to stand and trade. That fight alone could be a main event. But then you've got Shakur Stevenson versus Floyd Schofield, an elite chess match between one of the slickest defensive boxers in the world and an undefeated hungry challenger. And then there's the co-main event, Daniel Dubois versus Joseph Parker for the IBF Heavyweight Championship. Parker, the former champ, the veteran, who just dismantled Deontay Wilder, a man who has quietly rebuilt himself into one of the trickiest fighters at heavyweight, and Dubois, the young lion, the man with everything to prove. But here's the concern: Parker's new style. He used to be a brawler, a come-forward fighter who threw down, but lately he's turned into more of a slick boxer, someone who uses movement and defense rather than all-out aggression. 1,742 pounds. Next on to the SC, because here's the issue: if Parker spends 12 rounds moving and avoiding exchanges and then Bull follows that up with another ultra-defensive performance, that's two back-to-back fights with minimal action, and for a night being billed as all-out war, that could hurt the energy of the event. That's why Ortiz Jr. versus Madrimov fight is so crucial. That fight is pure violence, no hesitation, no running, just two guys looking to take each other's heads off. If Beterbiev versus Bivol 2 turns into another chess match, at least the fans will have gotten their dose of all-out action earlier in the night. I thought Ball won that fight, to be honest with you. It was a close fight. It could have went not couldn't have went either way. I felt like Ball won most of the rounds. We were controlling most of the rounds and his combination punching was better. Do you think he wins the rematch? I think he does. Yeah, is it different, or do you think it's more? I mean, I don't know, because both those fighters are both, but at the end of the day it all comes back to one thing: the rematch, the moment of truth. BBV is who he is. He's not going to change. He's not going to suddenly turn into a cautious boxer. He will come forward, he will throw with full power, he will try to break Bivol. That's all he knows. Bob Arum is another voice that has commented on the fight, and when he looks at Artur Beterbiev-Full's performance against Dmitry Bivol the first time around, he sees a fighter who didn't fully impose himself. That's not a mistake Beterbiev will make again. Arum is certain of that. He's seen the mindset, the hunger, the urgency in Beterbiev's camp. This isn't about just winning anymore, it's about making a statement. It's about silencing any lingering doubt, and above all it's about securing the knockout that should have come in October. Dimitri, what is your message to Artur Beterbiev ahead of your rematch February 22nd? Please look at him and tell him I don't have any messages. I'm not a postman, I'm an athlete. I will come to the ring, and we will. For the first time in his career, Bev was taken the full 12 rounds. That's not just a statistic, it's an insult. Before the Bivol fight, the Russian Canadian wrecking machine had stopped every opponent, dismantling champions and challengers alike with the kind of power that doesn't just break bodies, it breaks wills. Bivol survived that barely in Arum's view, but still he lasted. That fact alone means BF isn't satisfied. The belts, the win, the undisputed status, none of it is enough. He needs to finish Bivol the way he's finished everyone else. I don't remember myself without boxing, to be honest. It was just part of my life. I felt like I have to